Let me show you exactly how I created this shot in under 5 minutes. First, we add image as planes in Blender and find your door image. Use the knife tool with K to cut around the door, delete the faces you don't need, and straighten out what's left by scaling down the edges. I'm just adding loops, beveling, and extruding in to create the various levels of the door. For the shutters, I'm creating one and using the array modifier for the rest. Make sure to line up your UVs. It has a bad repeating pattern, but we'll fix that in a bit. For the handle, I'm outlining where this circle goes and adding some additional edge loops. Then delete those faces. There's an add-on you need to enable that comes with Blender called Loop Tools. Just right-click, Loop Tools, and set it to a circle. More basic modeling, extrusions, bevels, loops, you get the idea. I'm just finishing off the handle. In Photoshop, select everything but the door and go to Edit and Content Aware Fill. Here we can kind of fill the background void with this clean blue material. Then I'm selecting the handle and using generative fill to just remove that entirely. Super useful. Back in Blender, just select the new clean image. We'll unwrap the handle, and in the UV editor, just place the bits in the existing metal kick plate at the bottom of the door. Duplicate the existing door material and create a metallic version for both the handle and the kick plate. We don't need a new image for roughness. We could just drive roughness with the existing color image we already have using a color ramp. I did the same for the door material itself. I made a quick wall, and it's time to go to my site, rileyb3d.com. Let's search for grunge and grab a few grunge textures we can use to layer into our texture. Just have them drive the factor on some mix nodes. You can also plug them into a bump node in the height input and just lower your distance significantly. Texturing is all about layers, so take a minute to layer in a few grunge images onto the various elements. Looking good, but we have some nasty stretching wherever we extruded earlier. Select a few of these faces, hit Shift-G to select similar, and select by similar normal. Now we could just hit U and Smart UV Project. In the UV editor, we can scale these down to fit within that nice blank space we created earlier in Photoshop. That's looking a lot better. To randomize our slats, drop down a mix color and mix the color with itself, but for the second one, mess with the hue saturation value a bit. For the mix factor, drop down a geometry node and use the random per island as the factor. That assigns a nice random value to each individual slat and just helps break it up a bit. Make the door its own object, play with the pivot point to get that thing swinging on its own. Nice. Back on rileyb3d.com, we'll just grab some nice tile floor texture and maybe a wood wall or something. Assign those where you need to assign them. For the camera lens, I used a panoramic lens, but I set the focal length to something you wouldn't really get with panoramic. Personally, I like the look, especially when we get some depth of field later. Then I animate the camera and the door and separate out the handle to animate as well. For the lighting, I've got this overhead sickly green spotlight, then I totally killed the environment light and added a contrasting warm area light off to the right. I duplicated the floor, created a little room in the back with another spotlight, and of course, added in our giant Suzanne. Textures for her were kind of more of the same. And yeah, that's the final result. If you liked it, if you learned something, consider supporting me over at rileyb3d.com. I rebranded. This is my own custom site, so all of your support goes straight to making more videos. Nobody is taking their 8%, 30%, or whatever these third-party platforms take from your pledge. So yeah, I've got a few pledge options now, each with their own perks. The goal is 500 supporters. It's kind of a distant dream, but if I can get there, I can keep spending my full time making these videos and a few longer courses I have in the works for you. Thanks, keep blending, and I'll see you in the next one.